Hey ladies and gentlemen, it's your old pal Eating Good in the Woods here with my 5-part series on how to travel to Scotland affordably. In this 5-part series, I am going to impart unto you some of the tips and things that we've done over the last 20 years and countless amount of trips to Scotland to save money. I mean, after all, wouldn't you rather come home with a suitcase full of whiskey and sweaters instead of a billfold full of receipts? I thought you might. So if you stick around, I'm going to show you how. Alright, first and foremost, I want to start this video out by saying I am in no way a professional tour guide, nor am I selling any kind of tour. I am simply going to give you the same information I give anyone that asks me on how to travel to Scotland. So first and foremost, you're going to think I'm kidding here. You need to go out and get a book off of Amazon or wherever you buy books called Scotland for Dummies. There's a picture of it right here. I promise you this book does exist, and it is an absolute valuable tool for touring Scotland. Go get this book. Okay, so why Scotland? Well, if you like big cities, Scotland has them. If you like castles, Scotland has an abundance of them. If you like scenic drives, I've often said all you got to do is turn your head and you'll find something pretty in Scotland. Food. Food is not just based on a dare in Scotland anymore. Mountains. Listen, I'm a mountain guy. I love mountains. Scotland has some of the most beautiful mountain ranges you will ever see. If you're into hiking, which obviously I'm not, but if you are into hiking, there are tons of hikes. And if you're into, like me, Mrs. Eating Good in the Woods too, if you're into filming locations, particularly like Outlander, for instance, there are tons of stuff that was made, movie-wise and television, in Scotland that you can go visit their filming locations. Take, for instance, some of the castle scenes in Outlander were also the same castle scenes used in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If you're a still game fan like me and Mrs. Eating Good in the Woods, I have a whole website I can give you guys on nothing but still game filming locations. Monarch of the Glen is another one. Perfect example. Go get the book Scotland for Dummies. I was born into the airline industry. My father was 30 some odd years with Pan Am and National Airlines. So by the time I was 20, I had traveled a good bit of the country and the world. I'd been to Germany, Austria. I'd been to Ireland. I'd been to Mexico twice, New York City. A lot. Let's just say it was a lot. Mrs. Eating Good in the Woods made it very clear from the moment we started dating that she was second generation American, that her grandfather immigrated from Scotland, and someday she'd like to go there. And I promised her, before I even asked her to marry me, I will take you there someday. It took me 10 years, but I took her. And I've taken her, with rare exception, every year ever since. We've made friends, we've looked up family. Heck, we even found the house that her grandfather was born in. How many people can say that? I was bitten by the travel bug at a very young age. Our first trip out of the country was to Mexico, because I'd been to Mexico twice already and told her what a great place it was and how much fun we had, and I wanted to take her. She was a little apprehensive, but she finally did get on the airplane. Well, we went traveling around downtown Cancun when we first got there, and her head was on a swivel, like a sprinkler. What, you know? And I thought to myself, she just got bit. She got bit the same way I did traveling. And we've traveled ever since. We've been to numerous places. We also own an RV, and we go all over the country in the RV as well. Great fun. Love to travel. And she is the ultimate traveling partner. That's what we do. We enjoy each other's company, and we do it all over the place. Tour companies, you can buy a tour package and go around Scotland on a bus if that's what you want. That's not our thing. The idea, and I'm only going to say this, the idea of getting on a bus with 20 complete strangers traveling around Scotland is not exactly my idea of a vacation. And it kind of taps your sense of adventure, as it were. So I'm going to tell you all the ways to get around Scotland. I'm going to tell you the attractions that if you're going to be here for a certain amount of time, here's the things you need to see. I'm going to tell you guys a bunch of money-saving tips, things that you can do so that you don't spend a ton of dough and still see everything you want. So stick with me over the next 4 weeks, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Now, one thing that I am going to put into this particular video, a money-saving tip. My family got to go to a lot of countries because when you're not paying for airfare, those vacations become exceptionally affordable. And there's a way for you to do it too, and I'll get to that in the first video. But one of the things that I want to touch on right now, if you really want to do Scotland and do it affordably, find another couple that you're like-minded and you enjoy their time. I have a friend that I grew up with. I know a time where I didn't know this guy. Our families traveled together because we were both dependents of Pan Am. I would love to travel with my friend again, and I know you're watching, and I know you know who I'm talking about. So find a friend, another couple that you can go and enjoy this time with. Because, once again, if you can find yourself with affordable airfare, or even free in some cases, like I said, I'll get to that in another video. If you're also splitting gas expenses, which gas can be $6, $7, $8 a gallon over there. If you're also splitting a car rental, and you're splitting accommodations, man, this trip just became ridiculously affordable. So stick with me on the next 4 episodes of this series, and I promise you, you will be able to go to Scotland affordably. Well, that's it for this episode of Eating Good in the Woods, How to Go to Scotland Affordably. Stick around for next week. That'll be on air travel and how to do it affordably. So until then, go out there and be nice to one another. I love y'all. God bless. See you next week.